Here we have Dynamics 365, and we're looking at the functionality that comes from Microsoft as part of the system in a series of apps. And while the product can be configured to meet the needs of your organization, these apps are essentially templates that are designed to give you a bunch of functionality as soon as you turn the environment on. So here you can see, as with all of the apps, in the Sales app we start with a dashboard. Dashboards are designed to be able to take the information that you've captured on your records and be able to put them in a format where you can look at them and hopefully easily be able to make business decisions. These dashboards can be edited, laid out differently, and also you can expand them into Power BI dashboards. There is a range of specific content packs that Microsoft make and allow you to put those on the front page here. But realistically, sales pipeline, leads by source campaign, those types of things, is a simple outline of the kind of functionality you can get from these dashboards. As Dynamics 365 is a Microsoft product, it does come with a relationship through to Outlook. Outlook tasks and appointments are some of the activities that you can use inside Dynamics. So if you create a task in Dynamics, it will show up and pop up as a reminder based on the due date in your tasks in Outlook. And also if you create an appointment in the system, it will show up in your calendar there as well. But you can also have other activity types, such as phone calls. We have people who are using service activities, all sorts of things. And you'll see here, you can look at my activities, or you can also have it broken down if you've got a security role that can address it across the organization of all activities. And you'll see on that right-hand side, that chart will change to be able to show you the different information. That layout of the view where you've got the headers and some information that comes from the form is reasonably standard. Anywhere you've got an entity in the system that captures information, and an entity essentially is a form, you will be able to create a view like this, as well as be able to have a chart on the side to be able to display that information in a consumable way. Those charts are also clickable, so as you can see, you can refresh that data based on clicking on that chart. And what I'm going to do is go into a record here. And we've got quite a lot going on here. So obviously you've got the header up the top where you can capture things like financial information or numbers. You can also capture dates, drop-down menus, or open text forms. And you can use that to various effects. So the way this page is laid out, and you can create your own forms and lay them out with your own fields in these formats, and you can move them around how they're laid out, but the way these are in the template is on the left hand side you've got the information about the company. So the company name, a phone number that if you're using something like Skype you can do click to dial, the website which you can also click on and it'll open up your web browser. If you look at the middle of the form, you have your social grid, which will tell you all the activities, tasks, and appointments that are not only being performed by yourself, but also other members of the team. And you can capture other things in there like generic notes inside Dynamics, or you can link it with OneNote and actually have that full free-form format that OneNote gives you. On the right-hand side, what we've got is at the top, a primary contact where it's actually showing information that's held on a different form, so that contacts form with their phone number and email address. And underneath that you've got a subgrid, which is essentially a list of other records in the system that are related back here. So if you went and looked at any of those contacts, their parent account field would be populated by a datum. And that's how you create a relationship between information in the system. We can also click on anything that's in blue and use that to open up that record from where we are. So as you can see here, we've got a reasonably similar contact form with slightly less information on it, but the very standard stuff. And you'll see here if Eva was the primary contact, we would have been able to see her phone number and email address on that account form. So being that this is sales focused, we have the options to be able to manage leads, opportunities, quotes, orders, and invoices in the system. You don't have to use all of those, but it is a continual flow of a process from lead right through to invoice. So you'll see here, if we open up a lead, that's going to open up a form with a couple of interesting components. So you'll see up the top here, we've got the relationship assistant. That's saying that we've got a thing in there that's telling us if we haven't done anything against this account in a certain amount of time, please remind us that we need to follow up, and that will actually show up on dashboards as well as in the record itself. At the top of the form, we have a process-driven form. So these steps are inside the stages. So we've got to qualify, develop, propose, and close. The interesting part about this is when you move from the lead form to opportunity, these fields are actually on a different form. But you can see that information as you jump between the two different forms if it's been captured. And essentially, this is a good way for us to keep the information about what we did at the lead stage as we move through to opportunity. So it will actually take these fields and keep them over on the opportunity form, and it would turn a lead, which is basically an unstructured engagement where we don't know what we're trying to sell somebody, into a account, a contact, and an opportunity. So you actually, when you qualify, it will turn this record into 3 different records. And what we'll do is we'll go over to an opportunity and have a little chat about what we can do with those. So as you can see here, we have that same qualify stage that was on the lead, but the other parts of the process-driven form are available. And you'll see we have that lead information that we originally captured showing up as we go through the various steps at the relevant point. These fields that show up in the stages come from further down the form. So if we fill them in up here, they will actually show up further down. Now, an opportunity form is actually designed for you to be able to capture against a single sales objective. So we know what we want to sell this person, and you can have multiple opportunities with an account, and you can go and attach price lists. So once you've attached your price list, you'll see that there is a number of different product types against this price list, and because we've set this up as user provided, we've put in the revenue in here. If you set it up as system calculated, it will grab the totals from these fields and give you your estimated revenue. And you can go and attach things such as stakeholders in the organization and give them different relationship types, members of your sales team, and competitors that you might be competing for with this. And the main point of that is all this information you capture and relate back to the record allows you to do reporting. So quite often when you're looking at how you're managing your sales, you might want to think of what is the end result that we want to be able to look at, and then our team, OA, helps you work backwards from there to understand what information you need to capture at each stage of the process. As you go from this opportunity, you can then use the items that are captured in here to go and create your quote record. And from there, if you go into a quote, an opportunity, or an invoice, because the product is integrated with Outlook Online, you can actually use that quote form to generate a template Word document that can be your quote that you email out to your clients. As this is based on the original Dynamics CRM functionality, the marketing function is also included in the sales app. The main drive there is you can create campaigns or quick campaigns. Generally, these are either email campaigns, letter campaigns, or assigning tasks to your team to do follow-ups with your clients. But the really powerful part of this system is the ability to have both static and dynamic marketing lists. A static marketing list is where you go and choose the people that you want to add to that marketing list, and a dynamic marketing list is when you use a filtering criteria in the system to be able to create your list of contacts. Over time, anyone who falls into that filter will be added to that list. So if at the beginning of the year you have 100 contacts under a particular filter, such as Auckland based, if you then go through till the end of that year, so 12 months later, you may have 250 contacts in there. You will only use that marketing list to attach to the campaigns, but it will add those new users each time they're added into the system and their address field contains Auckland. So the only other part in there which is quite useful is those price lists. You can set up your product in there with details, and you can also have sales literature attached to it, and you have the ability to put in your goal metrics, and that's how you measure your KPIs. So all in all, the sales app functionality generally covers everything that our clients are looking for in that sales engagement format, and gives people the ability to capture, manage, maintain, and measure what's going on with their sales functionality. So that is the sales app. The Customer Services app in Dynamics 365 has some particular features that make it very useful for managing cases with your clients and also addressing SLA concerns. So as with all apps, we start with the dashboard, giving you the ability to see how the progress is going against cases, team members managing cases, and also where cases are coming from. Going in and looking at the case lists themselves, you can once again look at just your active cases or the active cases across the whole team, depending on whether you're in a management role or just an individual who's managing their own day-to-day work. And as you can see, we have both the icons and also the descriptions of a number of different formats that we can receive cases in. So email, phone, web, and social media are all available. Coming from this view, we can do a number of interesting things. You can apply routing rules to the system, which will allow you to pass a particular type of case off to different teams or team members based on that particular case. And one of the more interesting functions is the ability to be able to book somebody who can follow up on that case. So as you can see, we've got quite a list here of team members that we're able to assign to that case, and we can also have some smarts in here for being able to quickly filter and choose who we're going to assign, but it comes down to the ability to be able to select a person and book them for that job. If we want to go in and have a look at the case itself, there is once again some very specific functionality around case management. And while we have the process-driven forms, the ability to be able to bring the relevant information to the top of the page as we go through the process, we are also able to do things like create child cases. So obviously, if a case comes in and there are multiple directions in your organization that it needs to go, you can split the case into child cases and send them off to the different members of the team, allowing you to be able to set it so that the case can't be closed until both of those cases have been completed. Some of the other interesting things in here is using the time management that is shown in each of the stages. You can address the SLAs. So you can set things like first response time and also complete turnaround time. And if you have any issues hitting those criteria, you can set a series of workflows in the system that will escalate the case so it can be passed off to managers or other members of the team as required. Also, as with anywhere in the system, if you've got this social wall, you'll see here is the original phone call we had that created this case. But one of the more useful parts is the ability to be able to identify knowledge base records based on the description of the case and also the subject. And with that, the system will be able to list for you specific or a number of knowledge base articles that may be relevant to your case. You're also able to link them to the case to say this is how I resolved it, so that helps identify what the right knowledge base article is for each type of case. And you can also link and email to a client so that they will receive an email that will actually show them this information and give you the ability to see what information was passed off to them to resolve the case. As you attach an SLA to a client, that derives any entitlements they have or any SLA timeframes that we have to meet, meaning that if you're tracking the number of cases they have and you have a 5-case limit per year that somebody can receive uncharged, the system will be able to manage that for you. So as outlined, the customer service app is reasonably specific. It does help with case management and SLA support. As we go through to the portal part of the program, you'll be able to see how we can apply an external web page to the format that you've just seen there, so that clients can enter the cases themselves. Those knowledge base articles can also be suggested while they're entering the case, meaning that they can service themselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without having to engage your team, which can be very beneficial. Now we're going to take a look at the Field Service app. Field Service is a job scheduling app that allows organizations to schedule both staff and equipment on a client site. Jobs are created in work orders. Work orders are designed to quickly be able to capture the job and also the type of work that's required. Once the type of work has been identified, an incident is created. Incidents are made up of service tasks, products, and services. Your system can be set up to capture the cost and time required to deliver the service tasks, products, and services, allowing a job to easily be able to be estimated and planned for a schedule right from the creation of the initial work order. If the initial work order is not planned and remains unscheduled, you can go to the scheduling board in Field Service, allowing you to select easily the type of staff member that's required to do the job, and also pick up the job itself from the unscheduled list and determine who is the right fit and has the right set of skills to deliver the job as required. If a staff member does not have the correct requirements to deliver the job, you'll see that the job comes with a red cross. Anywhere that it's green means that it's within the work hours and the staff member has the skills available to do the job. The job can then be dropped into their calendar. Any additional details can be added in the detail form. Once a job is booked for a staff member, depending on your organizational requirements, that can go out for the staff member themselves to accept or reject the job. If the job is rejected, the scheduling board manager will be informed and it will go back into the unscheduled jobs. For ongoing agreements with customers, agreements can be set up which will allow you to schedule multiple deliveries under a contract for a particular type of work. Customer assets can be maintained and owned by the customer or maintained and owned by our organization. Jobs for scheduling, support, and maintenance can be set up against these assets and can be viewed here in the customer asset view. The system also allows for inventory transfers. This allows the ability to set up numerous warehouses, including vehicles, meaning that you can shift inventory from one warehouse, say a central warehouse, to a truck that's going out to a customer job. Once the source warehouse and destination warehouse is selected, the number of items to be transferred can be easily added to the system, including using barcode scanning and transferred from one warehouse to the other. This allows good visibility of stock taking at any time to easily identify where equipment should be. Because of this, purchase orders can also be managed and maintained in the system, and you can deliver returns and return to vendors using the Field Service app. Now we're going to take a look at the Field Service app. Field Service is a job scheduling app that allows organizations to schedule both staff and equipment on a client site. Jobs are created in work orders. Work orders are designed to quickly be able to capture the job and also the type of work that's required. Once the type of work has been identified, an incident is created. Incidents are made up of service tasks, products, and services. Your system can be set up to capture the cost and time required to deliver the service tasks, products, and services, allowing a job to easily be able to be estimated and planned for a schedule right from the creation of the initial work order. If the initial work order is not planned and remains unscheduled, you can go to the scheduling board in Field Service, allowing you to select easily the type of staff member that's required to do the job, and also pick up the job itself from the unscheduled list and determine who is the right fit and has the right set of skills to deliver the job as required. If a staff member does not have the correct requirements to deliver the job, you'll see that the job comes with a red cross. Anywhere that it's green means that it's within the work hours and the staff member has the skills available to do the job. The job can then be dropped into their calendar. Any additional details can be added in the detail form. Once a job is booked for a staff member, depending on your organizational requirements, that can go out for the staff member themselves to accept or reject the job. If the job is rejected, the scheduling board manager will be informed and it will go back into the unscheduled jobs. For ongoing agreements with customers, agreements can be set up which will allow you to schedule multiple deliveries under a contract for a particular type of work. Customer assets can be maintained and owned by the customer or maintained and owned by our organization. Jobs for scheduling, support, and maintenance can be set up against these assets and can be viewed here in the customer asset view. The system also allows for inventory transfers. This allows the ability to set up numerous warehouses, including vehicles, meaning that you can shift inventory from one warehouse, say a central warehouse, to a truck that's going out to a customer job. Once the source warehouse and destination warehouse is selected, the number of items to be transferred can be easily added to the system, including using barcode scanning and transferred from one warehouse to the other. This allows good visibility of stock taking at any time to easily identify where equipment should be. Because of this, purchase orders can also be managed and maintained in the system, and you can deliver returns and return to vendors using the Field Service app. Project Service further leverages the scheduling board in Dynamics 365 and allows you to manage long, complex projects with multiple milestones and staff involved. Projects themselves can be scheduled over long time periods and may require good visibility of when other projects are starting and ending for jobs to be able to be scheduled. Because project in Dynamics is a Microsoft product, it can also link to Microsoft Project on your desktop and also in SharePoint. As you can see here, there are a number of stages that can be managed through a project, and you can also get visibility of how jobs are tracking as they're delivered. Project Service also leverages the familiar model of Gantt chart management for projects. And this is very similar to how Microsoft Projects works. If these systems are linked, you can actually do the editing of the Gantt charts in Project and import them back into Dynamics 365. The system gives you great visibility on how a project's tracking in terms of both effort and also the cost. While Project Service is great for anyone managing a project, for team members who are working on the project, it gives a simple calendar-based interface that allows you to track both time and expenses. The other interesting part about this is it can be linked to your Outlook calendar, allowing you to be able to do the tracking from externally from the system or internally and display it inside your calendar. Once a project has been delivered, you can create a copy of that project to build a project template, or you can build project templates from scratch based on best practice of your organization and apply each customer project to that format, allowing you to reschedule the start and end date and the team members that are applied to each project as the template is created. From here, you're able to generate your invoices based on milestones that have been set up on the project delivery cycle. Once again, the scheduling board, as seen in the field service part of the system, can be used to schedule staff members to different parts of the project and reschedule based on availability and people calling in sick. While the project service part of the system has a great level of detail that can be delivered, it does have a reasonably simple design that helps you have a focus on the project, the people, the cost, and the milestones, as required from any good project delivery system. As part of the Dynamics 365 platform, Microsoft offer an app for mobile interfaces. This is actually designed on the unified interface and can actually be used on the desktop as well. Because of the unified interface, Microsoft deliver this across platform, iOS, Android, and Windows. And as you can see, it delivers some of the same visibility that you've got with a slightly different layout, including dashboards, the ability to see the entities in the system, and also similar views of records that you've got, as well as a few new features around how to filter. They also deliver reactive charts and give you the ability to view information in a tile view, which you can click on to drill down to the individual records. On the records themselves, there are a couple of different capabilities. It is designed specifically to be able to be seen mostly on a single screen, meaning that you have the tab interface. And as you can see here, by clicking on these titles, you can jump into the different sections of the record and also related records. They also deliver the timeline functionality, which gives you a breakdown of everything that's happening, including posts, activities, and notes in a single view. And also, when you come back to the record, we'll show you what's new since the last time you visited. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can pop out a view, so you don't have to jump back and forth between the view page to be able to scroll through the different records that you're working with. And you can quickly access forms that have more readable space because of the shrunken version of the process-driven form. These forms do still have all the functionality, but you do click on them to drop down the steps that you fill in as you go through the engagement. There are also, as you can see by the estimated revenue and probability, some different user interface capabilities to be able to drag with your finger on touchscreens. With the light bulb down the bottom of the page, You can see that this activates on the right-hand side the Relationship Assistant. The Relationship Assistant delivers machine learning functionality in Dynamics, and in this case, we'll show you leads that have no activity in recent times. You can set the time period, 30, 60, 90 days, that will pass this threshold, and any records that go over that threshold will then be added into the Relationship Assistant. This can also work with cases and opportunities that are coming up for close. Slightly over to the left, we have the task flows. Task flows give us the ability to use natural language to be able to design ways of updating the system. So as you can see here, follow up with opportunity, after meeting, and update contact. If we choose update contact, you'll go in and choose the individual that you want to update the information for. It will pull up the contact record, showing you all of the relevant fields that you want to generally update a contact with, and also take you in to the account record, where you may have additional information you want to add. This interface is designed to be used on both tablets and smartphones, but does give you the ability to select using the unified interface between all of the basic hubs that are in Dynamics. The Sales Hub, the Customer Service Hub, Project Resource Hub, and Field Resource Hub all give you the ability to be able to have a fully functional Dynamics out in the field with you, and also has the ability to have online and offline availability. With the apps and plan licensing for Dynamics 365, Microsoft deliver a customer-facing web portal that includes templates such as customer self-service, community, and partner-facing web portals. These portals deliver extra functionality to the core Dynamics platform that makes for a more engaged environment for partners, customers, and other people engaging with the system from the outside. With templates like customer self-service, you're able to offer knowledge-based formats and also some views around most popular or most accessed records. And for anyone who's logged into the system, they get access via a web role that gives them a limited set of functionality where they can go and do things such as viewing opportunities, work orders, or creating cases. Being authenticated through a web role, the system will automatically select that contact as the customer, and also by putting their topic in the title, it will access the knowledge base and try to deliver any information that it can for people to self-service. This can save a significant amount of time for your internal team, and also gives people 24/7, 365-day access that can have the smarts of workflows behind it for a more automated process. When it comes to working with partners, the system is able to deliver functionality such as the dashboards that are available from inside the standard product, giving your partner organizations good visibility around their relationship with you, and vice versa from the information that they put into your system. A great example of this is managed opportunities, where partners who work with distributors can create their own opportunities for orders, allowing them to be able to give visibility to the distributor of the kind of relationship they have and the details of upcoming forecasts. The web portal maps back to the functionality inside Dynamics, meaning fields such as drop-downs, lookups, and date menus are matched back to the system once something like an opportunity is submitted. By logging into the system, access to information is limited by the web role. A great example of this is a doctor who's also a patient. If they log in and select the patient web role, they'll only see their individual information, where, as a doctor, they may see all patients that are related to them. This gives the ability for the web portal to be able to capture an extensive range of additional information that may not be available to an internal team, and allows Dynamics to become a business intelligence tool that can deliver a great level of office automation. We hope you've enjoyed the OA Systems overview of Dynamics 365 core functionality. Keep an eye out for other videos in our range.